I want to quickly go over the superintendent standards, but I also want you to click on the link that we provide that takes you to the text administrative code that discusses the superintendent standards, so you can read through and get kind of even a better understanding of what each one of these things means. And this is really important because it's going to be the basis of the position for which you aspire to, but also because at the end of the program you're going to be taking the Texas certification exam, and this is going to be the basis for that as well. So I want you to be very well aware of each of the 8 standards that we have right here. Standard 1 is learner-centered values and ethics of leadership, and basically it talks about that the superintendent has to promote the success of all students, acting with integrity, fairness, and in an ethical manner. And when we talk about ethics, we also talk about the educator's code of ethics, which you've looked at too, which is going to be the foundational behavioral model for any administrator. Superintendent Standard 2 addresses learner-centered leadership and school district culture. As the head of the district, the superintendent is somebody that everybody looks to. They pay attention to how well they dress, to how they react to other people, to how they handle other people, to how important the educational environment is overall. And so the superintendent is going to facilitate the development, articulation, implementation, and stewardship of the vision of learning that is shared and supported by the school community. Third standard is learner-centered human resources, leadership, and management. And so as the superintendent being head of everything, being able to take advantage of the resources that you have, and especially that human capital that you have, is going to be very important. So you want to make sure that you hire the best, you evaluate the best, and you also provide support as needed to help in the professional growth of those individuals. Standard 4 relates to learner-centered policy and governance. The superintendent needs to be aware of the larger political, social, economic, legal, and cultural context of the district. As well, they need to be able to work with the Board of Trustees, who oftentimes represent that bigger political context, and be able to do it in such a way that keeps everything aligned with the goals of the district. Standard 5 relates to communications and community relations. And bottom line is that a superintendent is always asking for support in something. There's some type of vision, change, movement somewhere down the line that you need to have support. And being able to communicate well and work with the community in a way in which you show respect for them and collaborate with them and get their feedback in how things are going, and really trying to mobilize families and community members for the overall mission of the district is going to be an important part of what a superintendent does. Standard 6 relates to learner-centered organizational leadership and management. And in this, the superintendent really works to promote success of all students through the management of the organization. There are a number of different strategies and procedures and everything that take place, and we need to make sure that they are as effective and efficient as possible. They also mention in here the idea of making things very safe, and obviously that is the most primary concern of a superintendent, to make sure that the environment is safe and conducive for learning. Standard 7 relates to learner-centered curriculum planning and development. Obviously, in the state of Texas, we look at the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills as kind of the overall and overreaching curriculum, but the superintendent needs to be involved in trying to make sure that the support structures within the district to either purchase or develop curriculum guides, and to make sure we have the training in place and any kind of plans that help bring that about to ultimately increase student engagement and increase student achievement is going to be very important. And in Standard 8 is learner-centered instructional leadership and management. And ultimately, the superintendent is like one more step away of the classroom, but they are still a very important leader to promote all the success of students, and mainly by advocating, nurturing, and sustaining a school district culture and instructional program conducive for student learning. So bottom line is that everything we do as an administrator, and especially as a superintendent, should all be wrapped around that core component of student achievement. Now, as I said before, I want you to go back, read through the different standards, and there's a little Qualtrics survey I need you to click through. That's going to, and it'll be self-explanatory when you get there, that has a number of things I want you to acknowledge.